And welcome back to the Crypto Hulk program. Oh man, we got a deep dive today. Oh yeah. We got Facebook back at it again. Well, not quite. Had to use a little bit of clicky bait. As you know, Facebook. So this is just my opinion, strictly my opinion. According to Mark Zuckerberg's college peers, he stole Facebook from them. So from what I understand, this is just from what I understand, a group of Mark Zuckerberg's friends or peers were working on a crypto platform or social media platform, which eventually became Facebook. And I guess he kind of stole it from them. And the other people involved were the Winklevoss twins and some other people. I don't know all the history in that. I actually really don't care. From what I understand, Zuckerberg kind of stole it and tried to monopolize it, and he patented it. Okay. Then Marky Zuckerberg, that's like strike one in my book. Strike two is where Zuckerberg tried to create a crypto, which he did. And the rest of the world said, hell no. Then they shut it down. That's strike two. Strike three is when he tried to make metaverse. So he made his version of the metaverse. There was already a metaverse, but he comes along and tries to make his version of it. That got shut down by himself, because he figured out this ain't working. So that's a strike three right there. Now, for all the strikes that he got, he's infinitely richer than I'll ever be. So congratulations. Today's program, what we're going to look at is very interesting. You know how you got X and then XPay. Now, Zuckerberg is sending his Colombian and Filipino content creator type people money, and they're getting paid in stablecoin money. Now, he doesn't have a system. It's not interoperable. It's a friggin' mess, okay? What it's kind of showing is Facebook needs a way. It's showing how the system right now is not set up. Now, I don't know if this is like a gateway or you open a door for technology to come in and fix a problem. Because here's the problem. Zuckerberg pays them, these two countries, in whatever, we'll find out as a circle. I'll have to look through the article again. But he pays them in a stable coin. But see, they have a problem because it's not their peso in Mexico. So now it's got to go through a conversion process. And these people don't know really where to convert it. And then they got to offload it somewhere to like a bank or a pay. So that creates a problem. So what we got is Zuckerberg pays them like, here's a stable coin, take it, that's for you. And then these people's countries, that's not their native currency. Stop. Now we already see a problem right there. Let me tell you what the future of payments will be partially. Every country wants its own sovereign money, okay? Some countries just don't care. Like probably the Marshall Islands or someplace, fucking Bermuda. I don't know, they use the sand dollar, whatever it is. I don't even care. Every country, for the most part, they want their own money. The American want the American dollar. The Canadians want to have the Canadian dollar, okay? The Mexicans want the peso. The Russians want the ruble, okay? Knowing that each country wants its own money, then in the future, you ain't paying nobody with the stable coin unless that stable coin is going to convert into the Canadian dollar, whatever we just talked about. So here's a problem right off with Zuckerberg. The people in the Philippines and Colombia, he's sending them a stable coin. There's your paycheck, convert it yourself. That ain't going to work. Now, what we need is a solution. Are you seeing what's being set up here? I'm showing you what's being set up. We need a solution, don't we? How do we fix this problem? Well, if you had an interoperable platform that had a liquidity hub, like what crypto would that be? Oh, Ripple. That's right. The Ripple liquidity hub. What we're going to see is there's a problem and there needs to be a solution. Zuckerberg chooses, look, you could send him money in their own currency. We're playing games here, everybody. We're playing the, hey, regulators, we got to fix this problem. There's a crisis. So what I believe is going to happen is Zuckerberg is now going to see, here's the crisis. They bring the crisis, pay poor people. Oh, these poor, the poor. It's the poor. We got to help the poor. So what's going to happen? Like you can see all this happening, right? If you watch Crypto Hulk Show, we're literally watching all this shit. You are being able to predict what is going to happen and with what crypto. If you watch my program, you are ahead. For the first time in my fucking life, I'm ahead of all this invention. I missed out on Apple computers. I missed out on everything because I didn't follow trends. I didn't know what was going on. I just focused on work and that's it. And in my younger years, I was working like all the time. And then my daughter was born. I was in college, working part-time at a driving school, being a dad, trying to hold on to a marriage. It was more like torture. And then when I graduated, then I started working a lot. And then I never had time to, anytime I did have was like trying to spend time with my daughter and teach her stuff. So I just ignored TV, radio, and shit, and just went to work and saw my kid. You worked out and saw my kid. That was my life. And then I missed out on every money-making opportunity. That's not happening this time. I've got 100% lock on. I'm locked on targets like I'm an F-24, if there even is such a thing, or an F-32 fighter jet there, buddy. Heat-seeking missiles. This is what we're going to discuss today. There's a problem. We need a solution. You see what's being set up like volleyball. The little people are playing volleyball and the one shoots at the other and they set it up and the one tall chick just spikes it. Okay. So that's what's being set up here. We have a game of volleyball going on and Zuckerberg just got all set up for somebody to come in and spike the ball, okay? So he's paying these two countries in a stable coin, and then these poor bastards have to figure out how to get it out of the stable coin so they can spend it. Zuckerberg's like, hey, that's not our fault. We're going to pay you in a stable coin. You got to figure out. Well, looks like Crypto Hulk, they need a solution, don't they? Well, considering it's going to be peer-to-peer, like small people, it's probably going to come from the Stellar camp. And I don't know if this opens up Stronghold or AMP. Could be. You got AMP over there in the Thailand area, pretty close to the Philippines and shit. Maybe that comes into play. Or maybe is it Thunes? Oh, maybe we'll get into Thunes in this program, because that's where Swift comes in, and Swift's got the Linnea. Oh, let's see what's going on. That's more tokenized deposits. Maybe they switch up. Maybe they switch out of a stable coin and go with a tokenized deposit token. Oh, and then that's the interoperable. Oh, Crypto Hulk, you're figuring it out. Chris Sharpie says, I only got 0.5 milliamp. Please go to $10. You know, I was telling one of the $200 membership people, I still got $500 people for 3 months. But I was telling one of them, I was just joking, of course, but I'm just like, gosh, man, if all my crypto just turns into $1, just a fucking dollar, like all of it, you know, it goes to like $1 value. I don't need any of my cryptos at 10, 20, 50, $100. Just if everything could just go to $1 fucking dollar, like I'd be A-okay the rest of my life. I would have a lot of money. Okay. Just $1 fucking dollar. Alrighty then. Let's go start with this right here. Right here. Meta, here's the article right here. Oh, shit. Now, this is a deep dive. We got a lot of work coming up in front of us right here. I'm just letting you know. It's going to get painful. But do you want to? So I gave you the breakdown. Facebook, painted stable coins. Now, there's companies involved with this whole deal. And there's already a solution kind of sitting in this big mess, this big quagmire, okay? It's going to be Thunes. I'm kind of helping you out so you see the light at the end of the tunnel here. We're going to discuss the big fucking mess that Facebook's in. It's all created. And it looks like this big fucking mess, okay? They're doing this on purpose, all right? Just let you know. Zuckerberg's not dumb. He knows what the fuck's up. He's trying to create a multinational problem and then say, oh, he puts the problem up there so people say, oh, wow, those poor Filipinos and those poor Colombians, we've got to fix this. What can we do to fix this stablecoin problem? Maybe switch over to tokenized deposits and then utilize a Ripple liquidity hub type. And then all of a sudden it fixes the problem. You're the problem. So let's look here. I showed you the article. The company's called Paymentology. The CTO says that Meta program shows limits of stablecoin payouts. Here we go. Showed you yesterday, folks. We're going to get rid of the stablecoins for you and me because we can't have that for us. That's just for the rich folk. Us poor brokies, we're going to be using tokens. So deposit tokens. So let's look here. There's a company called Paymentology, and they're the ones working with Meta, Facebook. I like calling it Facebook because that's what it really is. Meta announced in March it would begin offering stablecoin payouts to Colombian and Philippines. See, let me tell you, this is how it all started. I told you. Stablecoin, we're going to get the stablecoins to usher in the crypto later. First, you got to get stablecoin rails because those same rails is what the crypto is going to roll on when they decide to flip the switch. You've got to start paying people in other countries in crypto, stablecoin, payment token, whatever the fuck you want to call this shit, okay? You've got to get them to pay with this crypto, all right? Not with bank debit, so you got to use crypto so somebody could come up with an interoperable platform and use a liquidity hub. You've got to see what we're getting all set up here. Okay, this is all set up. Meta announced March, so that was a few months ago, it would begin offering stablecoin payouts. Now that's interesting. To Colombia and the Philippines. You start off small with a couple countries. Something that you can handle, okay? But Tim Jocelyn, Chief Technology Officer at Paymentology, argued in a CoinDesk opinion piece Saturday, June 6th, that this was not a complete payments experience. Oh, really? Well, it looks like we need to fix this, don't we? But a faster way to move money between accounts. So what we've got is Facebook went off the old school way of just putting money into people's accounts. Let's get this technology thing going. Zuckerberg tells his treasurer, pay the Filipinos and the Colombians in a stable coin. But don't give them a system to use. Let them figure that out for themselves, how they're going to get the money out of the stable coin, okay? You got to love it. While stable coins have largely solved cross-border digital settlement, he added, integration. Oh, the word. Now, what kind of cryptos do we know that are integrated, fully integrated, distributed ledger technology, maybe? Let's keep going, everybody, because I surely don't know where this is going to end up, do we? Integration into local consumer financial systems is still uneven. Integration of stable coins into see, you've got to convert it over. That's what we're missing here on purpose, because they're trying to bring in the crypto, everybody. I'm telling you, every day we live here, we see this crypto getting more and more. For example, a creator based in Bogota or Manila will often need to convert the Circle USDC into local currency to take part in their economy. Jocelyn wrote, which means following a series of steps that bring with them fees, delays, and friction beyond Meta's ecosystem. And this is where stablecoin payments reveal their structural limitations. Oh, man. You see what's happening here? The destruction of the stablecoin live at 7 a.m. Crypto Hulk. Okay. This is what we're seeing right here. Yesterday and today, we've been talking about how the stablecoins, bye-bye. Bye-bye. They're showing us right here. You can get a stablecoin. Okay, but then how are you going to fucking spend that shit? Can I go to my local grocery store and use a stablecoin? No, I can't. Can I go to the gas station? No, I can't. Can I? No. Now, some people will accept stablecoins, but what we have to have is Stellar or XRP roll this shit out, okay? This is the problem that they're going to have to address. Stablecoins are not interoperable. We need a Ripple liquidity hub, folks, don't we? Yeah, and that's where it's going to come in to save all these poor bastards. While he said Met has... Okay, I don't understand what... While he said MET, capital MET, has helped push the conversion forward, Jocelyn contended that the next phase, here we go, listen to this. The next phase of tablecoin, who wrote this? Who's the fucking author to this? Hold on a minute, I gotta stop. This is from Payments. You know what? They got the B student, they got the Associate of Art, C student, writing articles at Payments now, at Payments. So here's one or two sentences here. While he said, I guess we're talking about Jocelyn, while he said what this person who wrote this article, I don't even know as a person, it should be while Jocelyn said, that way we know who the fuck was talking about here, has said is that Meta? I'm pretty sure it's Meta then. While he said Meta has helped push the conversation forward, Jocelyn contended that the next phase of not table coin, but how about stable coin? That's twice in this first, this person must be on so much fucking drugs right now. Oh, God. There's no editor. Obviously, there's no editor at Payments. It's the Weekend Crew. These are a group of people like Chucky. Sorry, Joe. He's passed out on drugs. You can't even hear what I'm saying. You got people like Chucky who went to junior college, got an AA degree with a letter C average. These, I think, are the people writing on the weekends at payments, people that can't fucking spell. Okay, let's move on. Try to be positive here. Monday morning and shit, right? Okay. The next phase of stablecoin adoption will be defined less by transaction speed or blockchain throughput than by integration into card networks, banking applications, and merchant terminals. Oh, so what's going to happen is they've got to get crypto integrated into the society. That's what he's saying here, okay? In that end state, stablecoins will be present in the system, but largely invisible to users. That work is already underway across it's already underway. Well, imagine that. The platforms handling payouts will need to keep pace. The stablecoin market had entered into a new era in which being framed not as an alternative money system, but as settlement infrastructure. See, here's the problem. We're not going to have stablecoins being used because that goes against the sovereignty. Now, if these stablecoins are backed by dollars, but guess what? The banks are running shit. They ain't giving up their control. So you're going to be trading people with tokenized bank deposits. That's how this shit is going to work. You got to keep the banks in there or else they're going to disappear, and that won't happen. Now, Revolut, there's a payment company called Revolut, reported plans to offer stablecoin access to U.S. banking customers, highlight the way fintech companies think of digital dollars as a path to increasing customer engagement while bypassing parts of the traditional banking system. These banks ain't going to allow that. Crypto native platforms are positioning stablecoins as an alternative, not just to payment apps, but to savings account themselves. The larger strategic question is whether stablecoins become embedded within existing payment systems or evolve into parallel ecosystems altogether. Now let's look. I've got the deep dive here. It's super long. I'm going to try to condense this if I can. Well, I'm definitely going to have to. Let's look right here. Paymentology, the chief technology officer, his name is Tim Jocelyn. He's the one who was interviewed in this article. And what Tim Jocelyn said from Paymentology, Meta has a problem. The world has a problem. Tim Jocelyn demonstrated the structural limits of stablecoins as a complete payment solution. Meta's initiative piloted the Colombian and the Philippines with planned expansion to 160 markets by the year's end. Facebook is getting this crypto thing going, everybody. This is what I'm seeing right here. They are pushing to start paying people in stable coins. But the problem is the on and off ramps are not good. So they're going to need a solution to this, okay? That's how they're pushing this forward. You get everybody to start using crypto. You pay them. Facebook starts off paying people with this. This is a great example of what we're watching right here. Social media utilizing crypto to get people to get the stable coin. You want to use social media? You're going to get paid in a stable coin. See what's going on here? The switch is happening right here. While it delivers near instant low-cost cross-border settlement, it shifts custody, network selection, and critically local currency conversion entirely to creators. This is not a complete payments experience, but a faster way to move money between accounts. And it has friction. So here's the problem. The good part is Facebook can make these payments in like 2 to 5 seconds to people, okay? All right. The bad part is once they get the stablecoin, how the fuck do they get money out of it? That's the next problem, okay? So we're going to have an interoperable platform that can act as a go-between. I got crypto. I got to pay my car payment. Maybe my bank. I got to get my crypto through somebody to put it in my bank to make the car payment, or I could just make the car payment straight from my Facebook wallet. Okay, these are things that Facebook's going to have to figure out, and that ushers in how crypto is starting. Right now, you're seeing it right here. This is how crypto is being introduced to people to get paid in crypto. It's called stable coins. Facebook is launching this thing. Before the year's over, it's going to be to 160 countries. Pretty close to the whole world. Almost all the countries in the world, there's like 200 or 210 or whatever it is. Almost all the countries in the world this year are going to be hooked up with Facebook and stable coins, people getting paid in crypto. I want you to see how this is rolling out. Now, Paymentology, this company called Paymentology, is positioning itself as a global card issuer and a processor, modernizing legacy systems for fintech, digital banks, and traditional financial institutions, while expanding into stablecoins and tokenization. Paymentology is a London-based global issuer. It was founded in 2014-15. Paymentology provides a cloud-native, real-time card issuing and processing platform that enables clients to launch and scale card programs across markets without rebuilding infrastructure for regulatory or operational complexity. The company, Paymentology, has operated at scale for over a decade. It's supported more than 1 billion transactions across 60 countries so far. Now, Paymentology has gotten venture capital money. Now, here's where it starts getting interesting. This is where Thunes starts to come into play here. We'll get into Thunes later. Thunes, remember that name. So here's where Thunes comes in. APIS Partners gave Paymentology $175 million. APIS Partners wants to give money to Paymentology so they can get rich, because Paymentology is going to become a way huge payment company. And then you have something called Asperity Partners. They're focused on fintech and enterprise technology. So these people are working together. Paymentology is getting money from Apsis Partners. And then there's another company called Asperity Partners, and they're like a tech company. They're all working together. And they're trying to fix a cross-border problem. Gee, I wonder what technology they're going to use for cross-border payments with banks and having interoperability. Gee, I just have no idea who they're going to pick. Maybe they're going to pick a company called Thunes, who's already hooked up with Ripple and Swift. Now, that might be a good fucking idea. Maybe I should tell them. Tim Jocelyn is the chief technology officer at Paymentology. He's got over 25 years in this line of work. He helped make NatWest, the TYL at NatWest. This guy's connected deep. At Paymentology, the CTO, Jocelyn, he oversees technology strategy for a platform already powering stablecoin-backed card programs. They already have a platform. Now, Paymentology positions itself as a bridge for institutions seeking compliant, embedded digital Jocelyn and the broader analysis emphasize that stablecoins have largely solved, largely is the key, not entirely. That's where the Ripple and Stellar come into play. Jocelyn said the stablecoins have largely solved cross-border digital settlement, but have not yet delivered seamless end-to-end payment experiences. Like the Philippines, in markets like the Philippines, they got something called Gcash, that's Chinese, with Ripple mixed together. I think it's 10 cent, and that's all Ripple involved with that. In the Philippines, creators and Colombia, creators often still face multi-step off-ramps. They have a problem. Facebook will pay them, and then they got to convert these stable coins into money, like the peso or the Colombian, whatever the Colombians use. That's going to cost them money again. They're going to lose a lot of money with that transfer. That's the problem, the off-ramps, okay? Then they got to transfer to exchange. So they might have to take their crypto, put it on an exchange, then that exchange send it to their bank account. That's going to start costing a lot of money. Meta's model optimizes the on-chain layer and steps back. Card network-led models like Visa with Bridge for stablecoin. So Meta's not really connected to these off-ramps, or these people will get paid, but they're kind of left to their own on how they get the money out of the stablecoin, right? That's the problem right there. So they're going to have to start getting Visa involved and MasterCard and Stripe and all these others, because these people got to get paid. Paymentology's multi-country accreditations and client roster, including regulated banks, provide a professional on-ramp for institutions. Okay, let's go to summary. Tim Jocelyn's commentary, backed by Paymentology's infrastructure credentials, offers a clear-eyed, business-to-business oriented assessment. So the reason this Paymentology guy, Tim Jocelyn, Payments interviewed him because they were talking about how Meta needs to have a better way of system of getting people paid. So you have to show the problem, and then there's got to be a solution. So that's why he's in that article, and they're talking about this specifically. However, the industry's next competitive frontier is seamless integration. There we go. Making blockchain rails invisible with card networks, banking apps. It's all got to connect and flow. So you can have Meta using crypto, stable coins, and they can send it to somebody bullet fast, but you can't spend it. That's the problem. It's got to get sent. The stablecoin has to be sent to a person, convert it into whatever, and then out pops the peso, okay? That's what has to happen. I think we all know on this channel how that's going to actually work. Stellar or Ripple, you got two choices, all right? Meta's program accelerates the conversation and highlights real limitations. Meta shows that there's real limitations with current off-ramps and usability infrastructure. The winners in the coming phase will be those, Paymentology among them, that delivers scale, compliance, and visibility at the intersection of traditional financial rails. Now, let's look at Apis and Asperity Partners. Let me look through this article here and kind of cherry pick some stuff. So these are the two companies that Paymentology is working with. One of them is Apis. Apis gave Paymentology, Tim Jocelyn, $175 million to move forward with their crypto to get better on-ramps and off-ramps and more seamless integration. That's why Apis gave them $175 million, because they're probably trying to make billions off this, okay? Billions and billions and billions. So they're like, hey, Tim, here's $175 million. See if you can fix the problem. See if you can fix the problem that Facebook has so we can make billions. And Tim's like, sure. Meta has USD Circle creator payouts. And what we're talking about here is Payments News Magazine, CoinDesk, CoinDesk and Payments were also discussing this, but these Tim Jocelyn and then CoinDesk gave their opinion about what's going on over at Facebook. There's a problem, okay? They're trying to show people that there is a problem with interoperability. So there's a couple guys working at these banks. I'm just cherry picking this because I can't read it all. It would take us like 2-3 hours. Asperity. Let's see if there's anything we need to know about Asperity. Asperity, so they weren't the ones that gave 175. It was the Apis company. Asperity Partners is a next generation pan-European private equity firm founded recently around 2025. Oh, just happened to pop up, huh? It specializes in growth, buyouts, and strategic minority investments in financial technology and services. They are the money people. They give you money if they think you have a chance. Asperity Partners closed 875 million euros. Wow, that's pretty good. They have the largest Irish investment limited partnership at the time. Irish, huh? Wow. Joseph O'Mara, Ralph. Who's on their team? Okay. So these two companies give money to companies like Paymentology because they're trying to get rich and have global interoperable payments. That's what they're trying to do here. So they're looking at this Facebook issue saying this is not working at all. We need to have a solution. So Tim, let me give you 175 million. See if you can fix the problem. All Tim's got to do, look, this is too fucking easy. All Tim's got to do is call up, hey, David Schwartz. Well, I know David Schwartz is retired, but listen, this is just for rhetorical purposes here. I'm not being actual. Hey, David Schwartz, can you hook us up with a payments platform? We heard you're kind of working with a company called Ripple, and you guys are all, oh yeah, we can do a cloud-based. Okay, cool. It can be hooked up in what, 4 days? Okay, cool, got it. You're gonna charge me $20 million? Okay, that'll work. 20 million. You hang up, and you're like, these motherfuckers are paying me 175 million. I'm gonna pay David Schwartz 20 million, and I get to pocket the other $130 million or whatever. Brilliant. Fucking love it. That's what I do. I just call David Schwartz, say hook it up. Here's the summary. Apis Partners brings proven sector deep capital and expertise for more than a decade on essential financial infrastructure with clear momentum into stablecoins and tokenization themes. You know what tokenization themes are? Bank deposits. That's what we're talking about here. They're using code words. Banks want to get rid of the stablecoin shit and turn it into tokenized deposits. That's why they're talking about tokenization themes, okay? Together, both these businesses provide paymentology with both the balance sheet, that, and specialized support to advance the exact capabilities. Jocelyn advocated moving beyond efficient on-chain settlement as in Meta's program. So Jocelyn says, let's move out of whatever Facebook, here's what Jocelyn's saying, whatever Facebook Meta's doing, let's get out, let's get into a real system, okay? Something toward seamless, embedded integration into card networks and banking systems where stable coins and tokenized assets become invisible infrastructure. Facebook doesn't have a payment system. It has a fucking train wreck, okay? So paymentology is going to try to figure out how to fix this. And between you and me, they already have it. It's called Thunes. They're going to incorporate Thunes into paymentology. Let me show you that right here. Paymentology, London-based. They're using those two companies. Paymentology created from a merger, a South African payments company called Tutuka, and acquired Salt Pay, creating a larger payments company. Jeff Parker is the guy running the show over there. He's the CEO. Macquarie Bank. He's got a lot of experience. This guy knows what he's doing, obviously. Tim Jocelyn's the CTO, and Jeffrey is the CEO. Okay, those two guys are running a pretty decent company, in my opinion. I've been in crypto for, 6 years now and studied a lot of different news articles, and this one looks pretty promising. Okay, fintech, traditional banks, target clients. So paymentology is not dealing with, paymentology deals with fintechs and digital banks, traditional banks, crypto and stablecoin players like on and off chain bridging, and then telcos. That's who paymentology deals with. Clients, GoTime, ecosystems. Hold on here. Visa, MasterCard. They're going to probably start integrating with Visa, MasterCard here, because that's all Ripple tech. That's what they're going to do. They're going to hook up with like Visa, MasterCard, and which is already using Ripple Stellar technologies. Because you won't have paymentology hooking up with Ripple. You won't. You'll have a big company like Western Union or banks dealing with Ripple and Stellar. Paymentology would then deal with like the Visas that bought $1.6 billion worth of Ripple technology. Jeff Parker, let's see, connections. You got Polygon, Solana, Stripe hooked up here. Red flags. I know that Thunes is in here. I'm not seeing it. Paymentology. Here's the summary on Paymentology. Paymentology is well placed to play out a meaningful role in the next phase of embedded digital asset finance, provided it delivers seamless client and user-end experience. The KPay that Paymentology is hooked up with and all that is a Hong Kong-based Singapore. That goes in with Ripple Hong Kong, Ripple Singapore. This is all Ripple, everybody. They're hooking up with Asia utilizing Ripple technology. I'm not going to show you the articles for Ripple Hong Kong and Singapore today. But they're definitely getting the countries in Asia hooked in with this Paymentology. Let us look here. Core users. Deliver an integrated platform that handles end-to-end merchant and financial operational needs. That's what Paymentology does. It doesn't deal with people. It deals with smaller size businesses or banks and stuff. Financial. Yeah. Indonesia, Philippines, Malaysia, Thailand. They're operating in those countries. Red flags. So that's KPay. They're mixed in with Paymentology here as partners in these foreign countries to make payments. Now, GoTime is also a partner in this with Paymentology. GoTime Bank is a Filipino direct. The Ripple is so in deep with the Philippines. They're using this company called Gokongwei. It's like a Robinson's network. Robinson's is it's huge. It's enormous in the Philippines. And that's where they got all these stores and hotels and all these things. So they have a big, big market for payments. And that's why in the Philippines, you got this GoTime Pay. And that's a division of this Robinson company. It's corporation. Now, Nubank, the Warren Buffett bank, Nubank, they're tied in with the Time Group, GoTime Group. That's it was led Warren Buffett, $250 million Series D, led by Nubank. They put like $150 to $250 million into this. Tencent is involved in this. We know they're Ripple partners. I'm not going to show the evidence, but Ripple China, which is Tencent, and Alipay, which is all Ripple. Alibaba and shit. Phygital banking. Banking made beautiful. Blockchain tech stack. They got Visa, Paymentology, Gonghui Group, Time Group. They're all working together with Nubank and Tencent. Venture capital. Red flags, summary. Gong Wei. I'm not going to read about the Gong Wei. Already, that's all Robinson. They got department stores. They've got, okay, so this paymentology is hooked in with the Gong Wei, which is a Chinese Robinson supermarkets. They got 761 supermarket stores. They got 1,100 drugstores. They got 50 department stores, do-it-yourself stores like Handyman, True Value. They got 227 of those stores. It's a big retail company. That's why they need a payment system. They're using this pay system. Exhaustive list. Now, I asked Grok to really look at crypto specifically. What crypto companies, tokens, fintech, blockchain, and crypto companies are most likely at work here? So let's figure out from Grok if they're going to be using any crypto in here. Which ones does Grok think it probably is going to be? First off, enterprise grade reserves, regulatory posture, institutional adoption, make it the default for any paymentology type card. So they're going to use now. Grok talks about Polygon already use. See, here's the problem with this Polygon, Solana, and shit. They're not interoperable. That's the problem. So they can start with the Polygon, but see, that's why this is all fucked up, okay? Because they're using the Polygon, Solana kind of thing. They need something that's interoperable. And again, Solana is high throughput, very low cost, and that's great. But guess what? It's not interoperable. Polygon is already using Meta. They're using USD, so low fees, and that's great. So Polygon has low fees. Solana is high speed, but we're missing what? The interoperability layer, right? Okay. Now, Stellar could appear in remittance or payout flows. Grok has to admit, look, I'm just going to tell you right now, it's going to be Ripple and Stellar. Everything's going to be based on that, okay? Those two right there. Grok's playing like, Stellar could appear in remittance or payout flows. Wow, come on, dude. Don't you fucking know anything? It's supposed to be like an artificial intelligence, but he has no intelligence. So what has to happen here is Paymentology, that company has to start integrating with Stellar and Ripple, because this Polygon Solana shit ain't going to work. And Facebook Meta has got to use something that's interoperable. So Paymentology is stated expansion into tokenization. They're getting into tokenization. That's what's happening here. Companies likely involved. So Grok is saying Circle's likely involved, Paymentology, the Time Group. We already know this. You're going to have to start putting in Stripe. Grok says companies that are most likely positioned here: Circle, Visa, Stripe, which is a Stellar partner right there, Paymentology, and the Time Group. They're talking about Stellar a lot, and that's what I figured. We're not dealing with banks here, so Stellar would be the one. And from what I believe, I think Stellar is also a Thune's partner. We'll find out here in a minute. I'm still looking where they mentioned Thune's. I saw it here yesterday. Now I lost it. It's huge. This deep dive I'm doing is massive. Okay. I tell Grok, the article mentions Thunes. I wasn't able to see it here. Sorry about that. The article mentions Thunes. What about the Swift Ripple integration here? So what does Grok say? Thunes is an Aptus partner profile company. So Apis, APIS, the same one that gave Paymentology $175 million, they are a Thunes partner already. Singapore. Thunes is a Singapore-based business-to-business cross-border payments. You know what? Thunes, Singapore, what? Ripple, Singapore. This is Ripple right here. You can get a Ripple platform, put Stellar right on there. Thunes operates as a proprietary direct global network that connects senders, banks. There we go, right here. I had to help Grok figure out what the fuck is going on here because Grok wasn't even breaking all this down at all. Thunes is the movie star for this article right here, and that's Swift with Ripple and Stellar. I'll show you those things in a minute. Thunes operates as a proprietary direct global network that connects senders, which are banks, PSPs, fintech, crypto companies, to a wide range of local payout methods. Bank accounts, mobile. So let's see. In September 2025, Thunes launched its pay-to-bank solutions, allowing 11,000 banks already connected to Swift network to access Thunes' global payout capabilities through their existing Swift connectivity with no new technical integration required. That's amazing. Thunes has all the tech. These companies that hook up to Thunes, they don't need to download all this expensive shit. Thunes has also expanded its pay-to-wallet offerings via the same Swift channel. Thunes and Ripple expanded their partnership right there. It started in 2020, and I was telling you about this Thunes stuff for at least 3 years now, maybe 4. The collaboration with Thunes integrates Ripple payments directly into the Thunes Direct Global Network. Oh, man, you got to love it. Thunes uses Ripple payments to enhance its own SmartX treasury system. Now, here's the articles here. I'm not really going to get into them, but there's your evidence that Thunes... Deep Dive Fund says Robert Driscoll. Thanks very much, Robert Driscoll, for that. Appreciate that. I'm kind of working quick here, not looking at a whole lot of comments because I've got so much material. I'm almost done. But I told you we're going to have to get in a lot of work today. So those are those 2 articles right there. All right. Ripple's role here is primarily through its enterprise payments technology, Ripple Payments, and on-demand liquidity. That's XRP, which can utilize the XRP ledger for bridge asset functionality in certain corridors. In 2026, March, a few months ago, Thunes launched pay to stablecoin wallets, allowing Swift connected banks to send real-time payments directly to stablecoin wallets globally via their existing Swift connectivity. This is how I believe Paymentology is going to hook up with Thunes. This is just my belief, because the article doesn't really talk about how they're going to do it. I wanted to push Grok, saying, what do you think's really going to happen? And Grok is looking like, you know what, Crypto Hulk, that's looking pretty good. Grok feels this Thunes is pretty much the one that would work. Thunes, here's what. Thunes, Grok says Thunes could serve as an upstream cross-border rail feeding into local payment networks. See, I had to help Grok try to figure this shit out because he's not giving me the answer I want. But he says Thunes could serve as the upstream cross-border rail. And what is Thunes? It's Ripple and Stellar, along with Swift. For example, international, this is what we're dealing with. International remittances, this is what we're talking about with Meta Facebook, or merchant supplier payments could arrive via Thunes using the Swift, Ripple, or stablecoin rails and then be distributed locally through GoTime payments, merchants, tools. Okay, Facebook Meta sends money to via Paymentology. Thunes Meta, Facebook, here's what Grok's showing. I had to help Grok figure this shit out. I'm trying to figure it out myself. So Facebook Meta, because I know there's an answer here, and Grok knows it, and I know the answer. You know the answer. I'm trying to have Grok actually say what nobody wants to say in the real world. Meta will send a payment using Paymentology. Paymentology will join a company like Thunes, who will then route it the proper way with the Ripple Liquidity Hub and send it through a company called either GoTime, KPay, or GoKongway channels. So those three companies are going to be linked in, partners of Thunes. And then the people, the content providers, would go to their GoTime account, their KPay, and have in a wallet the Philippine peso or the Colombian. That's how this shit goes. So they might have a GoTime account. The content providers have a GoTime account. They open up their account, and in their wallet will be the Philippine peso, and they have a choice to send that to their local bank, and that's how they're going to eliminate all these fucking problems they got going on right now. So basically, I just figured out how they're going to do this thing. And Grok seems to agree that this would very well work. Now, whether it will work or not, I don't know. But Grok's like, this is totally workable. The messaging layer, they'll use Swift. Smart routing, you'll have Thunes Direct Global. Blockchain and digital asset layer, here we go. Ripple payments infrastructure. That's how this all will be built on. Stablecoin layer is direct payouts to stablecoin wallets, and that will be to their GoPay or GoTime or KPay account, and that account will be linked up to their bank account. That's how it makes it to their bank. And, okay. I think that's a pretty good estimation. So let me, to wrap this up, let me just summarize what we're doing here for the past hour, lost and confused. Facebook Meta is now paying Colombians and Filipinos in Circle stablecoin. Each month, Facebook will send them their money, and they get paid in Circle. The problem is getting that Circle and converting it into money you could really use. That's the problem. That's the pain point. Now, the Filipinos can do it, but it's costing a lot of money. So it kind of goes against crypto is supposed to save money, but it's costing you because you got to try to convert it, and you don't know where to go to convert it. And so, okay. So Paymentology comes in, and they want to fix this because they want the money. I understand. So Paymentology is going to come in and fix this. In my humble opinion, what they're going to do, I suggested to Grok, is hook up with Thunes. Because Thunes, you already have the wallets, you already have Ripple, and you got Swift as a partner. Oh, shit. So what happens is Paymentology, money goes from Meta Facebook to Paymentology. Paymentology gets that money, runs it through Thunes, who then shoots it to the GoTime or the GoPay, where these little content provider people have their accounts. Then they send the money from there into their bank account. That's how it goes. And it would hook up. Their GoPay account would hook up with the bank so they can do the know your customer and anti-money laundering shit. They could trace it from Facebook to Paymentology to Tunes to KPay to that bank account for the content provider. They could have that pathway so the anti-money laundering can all be tracked. They can track it all. So there you go. That breaks it down. Now, I don't know if that's how it goes, if they're going to use Thunes or not. Grok seems to feel that's a pretty good way that would actually work. Grok didn't question any of my thought process, because that's how I think they ought to do it, is use Thunes, personally. Now, I don't know if it'll happen, but Grok didn't question me at all. He said, yeah, this could, that, and that. So who knows? We'll see what happens, but there we go. Now, Thunes, let me look up one last thing. Okay, they could use Western Union. Here's an article here. Western Union is linking up with, they're definitely going to use Thunes. I know this. But these Filipinos could link up and get a Western Union account, and then that money could be sent. Right here's your article. Western Union pairs up with Thunes. So somehow Western Union could get mixed up in this, because they're already partnered with Thunes. Let me check something here. Okay. Yes, Stellar's a partner of Thunes. Here's your article right here. So now Western Union and Stellar and Ripple are all partners of Thunes. So I'm going to tell you what, Thunes will be used. I'm just going to make the statement because I don't give a fuck. I predict Thunes will be used by Paymentology to get this Facebook Meta payment stuff squared away, because then you'd have Ripple's technology with Stellar and Western Union all hooked up together. So these people could have money sent to a Western Union account, you know? So there you go. My name's Crypto Hawk. We're out of here. I'll see you in my next broadcast. Probably, if things go good, 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific tonight. I don't know. We'll see.